So let's talk about Klow, because if you're here, you're probably not someone looking for a quick fix. You're researching, you're connecting dots, and you're asking, why this blend? And honestly, that's the right question. And if we're being real for a moment, a lot of people looking into Klow are here because something just doesn't feel the same anymore. Healing feels slower, skin doesn't bounce back like it used to, your hair feels thinner, the gut feels unpredictable. And there's this quiet nagging thought of, why is my body not responding the way it used to? So today I want to slow this down and walk you through what Klow is actually designed to do, why these peptides are stacked together, and why so many people get excited about this blend once they truly understand it. And later I'll touch on how people typically approach running Klow, because that's usually the next question once the why clicks. This is not surface level information. This is the why behind the why.
And by the way, we're the Peptide Couple. If you like this kind of breakdown, hit subscribe and give the video a thumbs up because we go deep like this all the time.
So at its core, Klow is a regenerative, anti-inflammatory repair blend. But that description alone doesn't really tell the story. Here's a better way to think about it. Healing is not a light switch. It's more like an ecosystem. If inflammation is high, if the gut barrier is compromised, if tissue signaling is weak, or if repair cells can't even get where they need to go, the body struggles to heal, even when it wants to.
And that's the part most people miss.
This is usually the point where people say, I have tried so many things and nothing really fixed it. And that's not because you weren't trying hard enough. It's because inflammation and gut dysfunction quietly block healing no matter how good the tool is. Klow is designed to support the environment that healing depends on. That's why it's commonly used for chronic inflammation, skin issues, gut irritation and permeability, connective tissue problems, slow or stalled recovery, and hair thinning or poor hair follicle signaling. It's not one-dimensional, it is systematic.
Because the body never just fixes one thing at a time.
But before we go any further, let's clear this up. A Klow 80 milligram vial contains 50 milligrams of GHK-CU, 10 milligrams of BPC 157, 10 milligrams of KPV, and 10 milligrams of TB500. Altogether, that's an 80 milligram ratio.
And that ratio is not random. Think of it like a team, 1 leader and 3 key support roles.
Absolutely.
GHK-CU leads to rebuilding. The others make sure rebuilding is actually possible. And this is also why blends like this are approached differently than isolated peptides. How people run Klow matters just as much as what's in it.
Well, let's start with GHK-CU because this is the anchor. GHK-CU is best known for collagen and elastin production, skin and tissue regeneration, copper delivery for enzymatic repair, antioxidant support, hair follicle signaling, and hair growth support. Copper is required for repair, but only when it's delivered properly. GHK-CU acts like a delivery service, escorting copper to cells where it can actually be used. This supports stronger skin, improved elasticity, better wound healing, healthier tissue turnover, and improved hair follicle function. One thing that's really important to understand here is that our copper levels naturally decline as we age. And when copper availability drops, we tend to see very recognizable signs like thinning skin, slower wound healing, loss of elasticity, increased wrinkles, weaker connective tissue, and changes in hair quality and density. And this is where people often feel discouraged because it can feel like your body is suddenly working against you, but you're not doing anything wrong. You're just working with different biology than you were 10 or 15 years ago.
That shift catches a lot of people off guard.
Yeah, it's not that the body forgets how to repair, it's that it no longer has reliable access to the materials it needs. That's why GHK-CU is so interesting. It doesn't just add copper randomly, it helps deliver the copper into the cells in a usable way, right where repair and regeneration actually happen. GHK-CU can rebuild, but it doesn't like chaos. If inflammation is raging or tissue is irritated, the body doesn't prioritize rebuilding. That's where the rest of the blend comes in.
Because rebuilding only works when the environment is calm.
Okay, Nathan, can you take this part? This is one of the biggest connect the dots sections for people.
Absolutely. BPC 157. It is often described as a healing peptide, but that's honestly underselling it. Its real strength is the protection and stabilization. BPC-157 is known for supporting gut lining integrity. So the gut and skin are directly connected. If gut permeability is high, inflammation is coming from the digestive system, and the skin often is what shows it. This is also where people start to feel frustrated because it can seem like everything is connected and nothing is improving. That's usually when people feel stuck. BPC helps. It calms the GI irritation, supports barrier integrity, stabilizes the healing process. This is also why BPC shows up so often in the conversations around gastrointestinal issues. In research and observational use, it has been explored in relation to gut inflammation, increased intestinal permeability, stomach and intestinal irritation, stress-related digestive symptoms, slow GI healing. Now, when the gut lining is irritated, it is compromised. The body is constantly playing defense and it spills over into the immune system, the skin, and overall recovery. BPC helps stabilize the environment, and that's why so many people notice improvements that go way beyond digestion. Think of BPC like scaffolding. It doesn't rebuild the building, but without it, the building can't be repaired properly and safely.
All right, thank you. Okay, next, let's talk about KPV. And this is where a lot of people have an ah moment. KPV is known for immune modulation, downregulating inflammatory cytokines, calming NF-kB, inflammatory signaling, supporting skin and gut barrier health. In plain language, KPV helps tell the immune system, you can stand down now. This is especially relevant for inflammatory skin conditions, eczema-type patterns, dermatitis or rosacea-like irritation, gut inflammation. Healing doesn't happen while the immune system is stuck in attack mode.
The body has to feel safe first.
And this is often where people realize why they feel like they're constantly reacting instead of recovering. KPV helps remove that break. And this is also where conversations around autoimmune type patterns often come up. In many autoimmune situations, the issue isn't that the body is weak, it's that the immune system is stuck in overdrive. Peptides like KPV, especially when paired with BPC-157, are interesting because they focus on immune regulation and barrier integrity, not immune suppression. By calming inflammatory signaling and supporting gut and tissue barriers, the body is often better able to regulate itself instead of constantly attacking itself. That distinction matters because healing usually improves when the immune system feels safe enough to stand down. And once inflammation drops, repair can finally move forward.
Finally, we have TB500. Now, TB500 answers a very practical question. How do repair cells actually get to where they're needed? It's known as cell migration, wound healing, tissue remodeling, and it supports blood vessel growth. You can send signals all day long, but if the cells can't move, nothing changes. Signals don't matter if nothing responds to them. Now, this shows up in everyday ways. Cuts that take forever to heal, soreness that lingers, flare-ups that never fully calm down, or tissue that just doesn't bounce back. TB500 helps coordinate movement, like directing traffic to a construction site once the roads are clear. TB500 plays an important role in reducing inflammation in injury sites, supporting proper tissue remodeling instead of disorganized scarring, improving recovery in soft tissue and connective tissues. In research settings, it's often discussed in relation to delayed wound healing, muscle and soft tissue injuries, chronic inflammation localized to injury sites. This is why TB500 pairs so well with GHK-CU and BPC. It helps ensure that the repair signals don't just exist, but they actually get carried out.
So when you zoom out and look at these peptides together, you start to see why this blend feels so comprehensive. Together, Klow supports 4 critical phases of healing: calming inflammation, protect and stabilize tissue, mobilize repair cells, rebuild structure and quality tissue. And another area where this blend really shines is wound healing, and that includes more than just visible wounds. Inflammation has to calm, blood flow has to improve, repair cells have to migrate, tissue has to rebuild in an organized way. Klow supports every phase of that process at once. That's why people often notice healthier, more resilient skin, better gut comfort and tolerance, improved recovery from injury, support for hair growth and thickness, more consistent whole body improvements. Not because it's aggressive, but because it's aligned. Most chronic issues don't exist in isolation. They involve inflammation, signaling breakdown, weak tissue integrity, and poor cellular coordination. A single peptide pulls one lever. Klow pulls several levers together, gently, intelligently, and consistently.
That's how the body actually heals.
And honestly, this is where I always pause and think, why would you want to take one isolated peptide and miss out on everything else that's happening here? I mean, come on, if you're already doing the work, why not support the full picture instead of leaving benefits on the table? A lot of people are also just tired of trying to figure out what to take, when to take, and what to add next. This blend removes that mental load.
And that matters more than most people think. You can run peptides separately, but most people are finding that it can be more expensive. Dosing can get confusing, timing becomes overwhelming, the consistency drops. Another big advantage of a blend like Klow is that it allows you to dose in a way where you're supporting all the therapeutic pathways at once without having to purchase, store, and manage 4 separate peptides. Instead of juggling multiple protocols, Klow gives you the access to combine benefits and rebuilding in a single well-balanced blend. For many people, that simplicity is what allows them to stay consistent long enough to actually see the results. And consistency is where the results come from.
So this is not about doing more, it's about doing things together. Instead of pushing one pathway harder, you support multiple healing mechanisms at once. The body responds better to cooperation than force. That's why people often describe Klow as smoother, more tolerable, more noticeable over time, and easier to stay on. Klow isn't about forcing healing, it's about creating the conditions where the body can finally do what it's been trying to do all along. And that's why it resonates with people who tried other things and felt like something was missing. So if you're researching Klow, you're probably also wondering how people actually dose this, how long they run it, how it fits with other peptides, and where to source responsibly. And that's exactly why we created a Klow protocol, so people aren't guessing. And it's exactly what we cover inside of our group. We break this down step by step with protocols, education, sourcing, guidance, and support so you don't have to piece this together alone. So if you're ready for clarity and confidence instead of guessing, check the links below and come join us. We'll help you get started the right way.